Oh, lovely. Welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 162.
It is, yeah.
If that is even a thing that we need to care about. I'm your host, Chris Trott.
Hi, Chris
One
Trott.
of three.
I'm one of the other three hosts, Ross Hornby.
That's nice.
That's right. And I'm 7 of 9, Alex Smith. Thank you very much for tuning into episode 162. Congratulations, you're still here.
Nice Star Trek reference.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play if you have listened to all 162. I think that's quite a challenge. I haven't listened back to all 162 and I edit them. So what does that tell you?
Well, you're in them though, so it
I'm
counts.
in them.
Yeah.
I hope you like podcasts.
I just make sure it sounds.
You're in
good.
one.
There we go.
Nice.
Flick through.
Yeah.
It's all
It's a
good.
Barbosa reference for all those Gen Alphas out there.
Barbosa. What, from Caribbean?
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
They
I
were-
hope you like podcasts. You're in one.
Ah, God,
It's-
yeah.
That's an
Hilarious.
old reference now for all the millennials out there. Some of the Zoomers. But
Although
Pirates of the
Caribbean probably spanned, like when you were a
Sorry.
kid, you probably watched a lot of that.
Old stuff.
It still stands as a kid's film, right?
True.
What?
Pretty creepy.
Which one?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Even when they turn into, I think that actually CGI in that is actually probably
It's
some of
incredible.
ahead of its time almost.
There's a video about like
great films.
why isn't CGI as good as that? Why was that so good and why hasn't it got better since then?
Yeah.
Different studios, I guess, different skills.
I think it's
sets,
also-
different software.
Well, they keep on bankrupting the effects
Yeah.
companies.
I
don't
think
they?
that's
Yeah.
ultimately it.
like
is
it's a race to the bottom with
They are-
effects work on blockbuster films.
they are squeezing those creatives dry
Yeah.
and undercharging them, and it's awful. But back then they had a budget.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got my copy of Pirates of the Caribbean on DVD signed by Johnny Depp
Wow. Is that when you went down to see him when he was filming?
from Hell,
Is that
Quite a
down
flex,
at
that's
Montague
quite a
House?
flex.
Montecute House.
Nice. I think I remember you doing that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that is quite cool. You know, that was like, wow, Johnny Depp in our fucking bumpkin area
Probably
of
peak
England.
drug and alcohol
Yeah, did he
binging.
smell of booze?
He was like, hey, very small as well.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, of course.
When was that? How long ago was that?
Whenever Pirates of the Caribbean 1 was a thing and
Whoa.
Pirates of the Caribbean 2 wasn't out.
Long
So
time ago.
between those two.
Is it odd
And he
that
was
Keira
filming-
Knightley hasn't aged since then, do you think?
Oh, that's
I haven't seen Keira Knightley recently.
good
Is
for
she?
her. I haven't seen her. I don't know what
I mean,
she's up to.
she's doing
Is she
great.
part of the Illuminati?
Well, there's also
Are you
Orlando
part of the
Bloom.
Illuminati?
I'm not, no. Orlando, I wish I was, you know, honestly.
More like
Just
Orlando.
give a sense of like everything's, there's a plan.
I feel like
you know?
maybe I haven't asked that to enough people.
Yeah.
Are you a part of the Illuminati, Chris Trott?
Do they have to tell
no.
you? Is it like the police? Do they have to tell you?
I don't know.
Like that? Oh,
But it's a question.
you
It's
got
a question
me.
I haven't asked everyone. So maybe I should. Because maybe they'll go, "Oh,
yeah.
how did you know?"
Oh,
Are you part of the
Ah, you
Illuminati?
caught me.
Are you a part of the Illuminati?
You caught me this time. You know.
The crazy stuff, like the conspiracies about Hollywood and the Illuminati and the global forces working shadow behind the
It's
scenes.
a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot.
It's just the desire. It's a
some of it's,
desire to want to feel that there is some grand plan at play. I think a lot of times.
Yeah, because obviously it is normally the simplest answer that is
Yeah.
the most dull answer.
Yeah.
It's not really the realistic
Yeah.
answer. But it is exciting to have like kind of these bombastic, kind of crazy ideas that
Though it
there
has
is-
been confirmed that like very powerful people do go to this place.
So like Davos is one.
What?
Have you
Epstein's
heard
Island?
of Davos? That's one where like world leaders, business leaders go every year. It's in like Switzerland, and they all meet up and
yeah.
they try and create ideas for how to progress the world and shit.
Well, I was thinking more the
They
place where they do that weird ritual thing.
Oh, you're talking about in the
Wicker Man.
States
The Wicker Man?
with
Yeah.
the owl statue
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Like there's been footage of
yeah.
ex-presidents and stuff.
Yeah. They
there.
don't. Apparently, they don't do it as much anymore. So that place they used to go to. So I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, there's a place where in the States, a lot of politicians would go to do kind of like this weird kind of country retreat where they chat about stuff, but at the same time they have like these traditions where they literally like cultists all dressed up and
It's
but,
weird.
But I
don't know
think
why
it was
they do
kind of accepted that they were doing it as almost part of like
Bohemian Grove. That's the one.
Bohemian Grove,
Yes.
right? But like, I think also like the participants, much like in other things that go on in the countryside, for example, when you do like weird rituals, like, you know, especially in Somerset and Glastonbury and these areas, you've got people doing all sorts of pagan stuff.
Very pagany.
Yeah, which you would go like, oh my God, these people are so weird. But in reality, they're kind of just like, we like doing it. It's nice, you know, like whilst they may, you know, I want to kind of give that Bohemian Grove thing, I want to like make it the boring
What
reality
if
of
what
like
if it is like
they're going through the motions.
It's just this thing that's been traditional, and it's a really good like rub and shoulders event.
Yeah.
There's an owl
totally,
statue,
totally,
but like you get to meet all these other presidents and powerful people in the
As long as it
world,
doesn't breach over the line of like voodoo magic.
like sacrificing.
Why is
you need to,
voodoo?
like-
Why voodoo specifically?
Well, where you have to like kill a child
not
and
a fan
drain
of
its
voodoo.
blood. Like,
no, there's
they-
none of that. It's just like they all like gather around a statue and stuff.
No, not that.
It's like
that
LARPing.
specific, like when
In
when
general.
it crosses that line.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's a child
whereas like
killing.
witchcraft, where it's like, oh yeah, we need to cut off several
You
of
need
your
to bathe
toes
in
or mutilate your
virginal
genital,
blood.
or anything like brutal.
Cut off your
Yeah.
toes.
I don't know what.
That's new.
Just the weird things that some people do in name of their own personal beliefs.
Bathe in virginal blood, and you'll have Hollywood success.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Let's
that
all go
blood can
to
do.
Jennifer Aniston's
Think-
pizza parties.
Do you think Jennifer Aniston's part-
Janice Aniston's involved.
She could be.
I think she's far too uncomplicated. Her life's been great from like day one. She got paid millions and millions to be in Friends, which
And
everybody
Leprechaun.
loves.
She was in Leprechaun.
and she was in the horror one.
Yeah, she was in Leprechaun.
Sorry, I just got scared.
The Leprechaun's the one where like
Leprechaun
yeah,
with Warwick Davis
yeah,
as the Leprechaun.
yeah.
God.
There's another one I thought of.
Leprechaun 2.
Yeah.
Sequel.
She wasn't in that one.
What was that one
Oh.
called? Luck of the Irish or something like that.
Oh,
something terrible.
Oh, it
garbage.
could be.
Leprechaun
what is-
2,
what was-
Pot of Gold,
Pot of
Rainbow,
Gold.
End of the Rainbow. You know, like did
Leprechaun
it have a
2.
subtitle?
It's just called that.
It's just called Leprechaun 2.
That's a shame.
It's just boring as that.
That's such a shame.
Oh,
1994.
1994. though.
Only an hour and a half they managed to get footage.
I think that's hour and 25, and
Hour and
I think
25.
that's probably too long.
That's respectful.
That's too long. Sometimes.
But they squeezed that content and got a sequel out of it.
But they didn't get Jennifer Aniston on board. Maybe it was 1994, so I imagine that's when she literally started Friends and thought, wow, she fucked doing a
Leprechaun 2,
B
Friends.
movie with Warwick Davis.
What did she look like in Leprechaun? Like what role does she play?
She
I always
plays
imagine her just looking exactly
Warwick
like
Davis's
She looks
sister.
exactly the same.
character.
No, she
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
the same as her friend's character. If I bring that up, it's
Oh,
brought
that's
up.
just a lot of pictures of a leprechaun.
Yeah. Well, that's going to happen.
Ross
when you type in
Hornby,
Leprechaun.
professional Googler.
1992, Leprechaun came out, and there's Jennifer
Just
Aniston.
Jen-
Obviously, looks
Jennifer
exactly the same as she
yeah.
does in. Although airbrushed her shit in that specific still, but she looks exactly the same as she did in the first episodes
Mhm.
of Friends because they're the same time period.
Same
At least
person.
with the
Same
same couple
time
of years. Same
period.
couple of years.
Crazy.
If anything,
Same.
a little bit younger.
It's weird how that works.
And running away from a
Leprechaun.
Warwick Davis dressed as a leprechaun.
Would you prefer?
Just all needed his pot of gold.
Is that what he was after?
I don't actually remember. I did watch this once a long time
What's
ago.
Rotten Tomatoes giving it?
Oh, you want Rotten Tomatoes
What's the
score?
review of Leprechaun?
Let's have a look. Rotten Tomatoes is giving
Oh,
this.
Not good.
Ooh.
Again, obviously, you shouldn't judge it based on the tomatometer.
No.
You need to base it on the audience score as well. But both are bad.
Both are bad,
both
so
are bad here.
They both agree. This isn't good.
The tomatometer is 31%.
Is that what you're calling it?
I'm going to call it a tomatometer or a tomato meter.
Tomato meter is what.
Nah,
I call it.
tomatometer. It sounds more like some sort
Professional.
It's the
military-
tomatometer.
Yeah, it sounds like something you'd
of.
have.
Get to the tomatometer.
Check the
Hurry
tom-
up, get me a tomatometer. The audience score was 33%, so very shit.
She's got a shotgun in that.
She has a
Still?
shotgun. She's trying to get rid of the leprechaun.
She's trying to kill the leprechaun.
She's trying to get rid of that fucking
So the
leprechaun.
leprechaun's bad or she's bad?
Do you know what should have a 100% score? Dune 2.
Dune 2. Ross really loves
Yeah,
Dune
I'm not
2.
gonna, we're not going to talk about it too much to spoil
There's
it. So don't
worms
worry.
in it.
There are bloody worms in it. I think that's the only reason.
I've
why.
seen
What
it
is
too.
the tomatometer score of Dune 2?
Oh, you want to see?
It's probably
Okay.
close to Leprechaun.
I Dune 1, I think it's-
93.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty high, but that's what again? Sorry.
95.
Let's not judge
from the audience.
from the tomatometer. 93%.
Yeah.
It's the audience
Tomato,
score
it's
that
definitely
sometimes matters
tomato
more.
meter.
95%.
It's got to be
And I agree with
tomato
that
meter.
score because I thought it was probably one of the best films I've seen in a very long time. I'd
Up
wanna
there
watch
with
it again.
Leprechaun
I'm
or
going to watch it again. Sorry.
up there with Leprechaun or
It surpasses Leprechaun in
it surpasses-
quite
it
some way.
Passes
In
Leprechaun.
Fair
quite
enough.
some way. But yeah, no, it's definitely worth watching. Yeah.
Is there a Leprechaun
I watched
3?
that recently. A Leprechaun 3. Oh,
This
some fuckers
time,
made it.
and is Warwick
This
Davis
time,
still in it?
yeah.
straight to VHS.
Leprechaun 3.
Leprechaun 3. Oh
There is. It
my
was made in
God.
1995.
Wow.
The year after.
You keep going with it.
So is it a horror?
Warwick Davis
This
was
kept
in it.
Warwick Davis busy in the 90s.
Fuck me.
Really did.
It was
Yeah.
the Leprechaun.
This is
Um,
after his Star Wars stint, I assume.
Yeah,
The original trilogy.
That's a good point.
He was an Ewok in
Yeah,
that.
then I guess it would have been, yeah, so he's...
So he moved
Yeah,
on to
this was
Leprechaun.
but yeah, he's main character at least in this one.
Sick.
Main feature.
Actually, no, he was in other stuff between that.
Sorry, there is a fourth.
When was Willow?
A Leprechaun 4 in space.
Oh, yeah.
1997.
Fuck's sake.
No,
Leprechaun 4 in space.
There's a Leprechaun in the hood. Leprechaun 5 in the hood. Year 2000 for that one.
Year
It's
2000.
got iced tea in it.
It's got Ice-T in it. Ice-T and Warwick Davis? Yeah.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah, it sounds like one of the ones I'd watch.
5.
The hilarity.
They made 5 of these. Have you watched any of them?
The space one, I think, would be pretty good.
I've seen the first one.
I'm not sure they made
that
it
was
over
enough
here,
for me
you
to.
know? I think this may have been mainly American.
Are any of them on
Yeah,
Prime?
maybe.
Because then we could do a Twitch watch party of the
Maybe.
full Leprechaun saga.
They could be. They look shit enough to be on Prime.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Amazon has just a dross selection.
So how long is?
How long are they? They're all
like,
90 around the 90-minute mark, which
Perfect.
is fair enough because that's kind of like standard.
Leprechaun
basic
4 in
film
space, though.
length.
What business does an
was
Irish
Leprechaun
hotel
3.
have in space?
That's a good point. Well, I mean, the plot
here.
here. So, in 2096, on a remote planet, the Leprechaun courts an alien princess named Zarina in a nefarious plot to become king of her home planet. Jesus Christ!
This sounds terrible.
This sounds awful. The two agree to marry, with each partner secretly planning to kill the other after the wedding night in order to enjoy the marriage benefits.
What the
It's
It's
hell?
like a shared tax burden.
Yeah. A platoon of space marines arrive on the planet and kill the leprechaun for interfering with mining operations. Lucky tries to steal gold, but gets killed by the leprechaun's lightsaber. He's got a lightsaber!
Of course he does. It's space.
I thought they were just specifically exclusive to Star Wars. Anyway, a grenade explodes and kills a leprechaun. Wait, is he dead again? So how many times has he died in this just paragraph? Gloating over the victory, one of the Marines, Kowalski, urinates on the leprechaun's body.
What
Unbeknownst to Kowalski,
the fuck?
the leprechaun spirit travels up his urine stream and into his penis, where his presence manifests.
This has got to be a comedy, surely.
Yeah, it's
A comedy horror.
Horror comedies, yeah.
You play the fucking trailer. There's,
You can't see this.
Anyway,
but
so
you
his
guys
presence
can get
manifests in there.
context.
So the Marines return to their ship with the
a good spaceship.
injured Zarina,
Holy shit.
whom they plan to return to her homeworld in order to establish positive diplomatic relations.
This
Democracy.
looks incredible.
The ship's commander, the cyborg, Dr. Mittenhand, explains his plans to use Zarina's regenerative DNA to recreate his own body, which was mutilated in a failed experiment.
What
Who
the
wrote
hell?
this? I can tell you, it was Dennis Pratt.
Oh, there's
This
the
is
leprechaun.
crazy, the story.
Is it still Warwick in space?
Elsewhere on the ship, the leprechaun violently emerges from Kowalski's
Oh,
penis.
there's his lightsaber.
Sorry, Kowalski emerges from Kowalski's
Yeah, it's
penis.
the spirit of the leprechaun
Yeah,
that went
yeah,
up his
yeah.
urine stream.
Of course.
I followed.
Wait, hang on. Sorry. I'll read
It
this.
just looks.
I'll read this bit again.
So weird.
Elsewhere on the ship,
So
the
weird.
leprechaun violently emerges from Kowalski's penis after he is aroused during a sexual act.
Oh.
The Marines hunt the leprechaun, who
Oh my
outsmarts them and kills most of the crew in gruesome and absurd ways. While pursuing Zarina, the leprechaun injects Mittenhand with a mixture of Zarina's DNA and the remains of a blended scorpion and tarantula.
This sounds like AI writing.
I know. This sounds way more creative than what AI. This AI would
True.
make sense. This doesn't.
That's true. That's a good point.
Anyway, but that's just before he initiates the ship's self-destruct mechanism.
Damn.
A surviving Marine, Styx, rushes to the bridge to defuse the self-destruct, but is stopped by a password prompt. Mittenhand, now a grotesque monster calling himself Mitten Spider, entangles Styx in a giant web. Meanwhile, the other survivors confront the leprechaun in the cargo bay, where they inadvertently cause him to transform into a giant after shooting him with Dr. Mittenhand's experimental growth rate.
Experimental
It's just so
growth.
much chaos. It's like chaos from one moment to the next. This is like.
It doesn't.
This
There's
is
no
crazy.
coherence.
I've never wanted to watch a film more.
It does sound
The
incredible.
ship's biological officer, Tina Reeves, escapes to the bridge and rescues Styx by spraying Mittenhand with
What?
liquid nitrogen and shooting
Oh,
him.
right. Okay, yeah. Okay.
The only other surviving Marine, Books, opens the airlock so the giant leprechaun is sucked into space and explodes. Books joins the others at the helm and they deduce that the password is Wizard, since Mittenhand previously compared himself to the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, my God.
After stopping the self-destruct sequence, Books and Reeves kiss, while Styx looks out the window to see the leprechaun's giant hand giving him the finger.
What the fuck?
That is
That got a budget.
Leprechaun 4 in space, budget $1.6 million.
1.6 million. Who gave them that?
I feel like there's a lot of people who are going to watch that now.
Sounds like a silly time.
And I think that there's only one kind of state you need to be high as fuck watching that thing.
Yeah.
Because
I think it had to be high as
just
fuck
reading
making
that
it.
was a roller coaster.
That was insane.
But I feel like watching that would be even funnier and or weirder. especially when they start using the growth ray. Anyway,
Makes no
that's
sense.
quite the tangent. Anyway, Dune is really good.
Dune's
Go see Dune.
Go see Dune.
Dune's a lot more vanilla.
I'm seeing it tomorrow. I watched the original last night. Sorry, not the original.
Well, the David Lynch.
No, the Villeneuve first one. Very good. I've always liked Dune. And then it had me hankering for. There's an RTS called
Dune.
Emperor Battle for Dune. Is what it's called,
right.
and it was like in the era of like Red Alert 2, just after
really?
Red Alert 2. So it was like a modernized Red Alert 2. And you had to like harvest spice. There were worms. There were Fremen. You could play the Harkonnen. You could play the not the Eritreans. That's a place. Atreides.
Could you be the Bene Gesserit?
You could like have them
With
as
the
like
voice.
it's very much like Battle for Middle Earth, the RTS, the Lord of the Rings RTS.
Yeah.
Similar to that as well. So you could have like hero units. You could have like little elite units of like Bene Gesserit and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was so good.
Would they be like heroes? The Bene Gesserit come through and start yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Shut up!
Water.
Pass me down. But yeah, it was so good, and I hope there's going to be a remake of these things because I
Those
can't
games,
go back to
Well, there's a Dune game coming
an
out.
AI. I need an AI upscale of all the games I
There's a
used to play.
Dune game new. So I've
Yeah.
typed. Dune Awakening. That's the one. Which I don't know what type of game it is.
It's
Is
a coming-of-age story
open world
of the-
survival MMO game set in the Dune universe.
That sounds weird.
It's providing you look at Dune Awakening into a glimpse into Arrakis, along with some gameplay footage. So there is a new
world
game.
survival MMO. If they'd said
A
open world survival,
I've seen clips of this actually, and I thought it actually looked pretty interesting because you build your own like base and stuff.
but it's also massively multiplayer online.
Well, that's fucking crazy. isn't
Because like there are other games like this, and most of
fail.
them do badly.
it? Yeah.
I think maybe Ark is perhaps an
Feels
example
like
of
they're trying to do
something
a lot
like this.
in one thing.
Not that
but,
Ark did
It's
badly,
not really
but
an MMO, but yeah. It's,
no, exactly. So like,
but like it might tick some of your boxes for at least the period of time it survives as an MMO.
True.
Because an MMO set in the world of Dune, that sounds pretty kind of epic.
the world of Dune is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
if you, like
But
I've gone down so many
the
rabbit
second
holes.
film really
Not
opens
Dune
up.
itself.
It opens up way
Huh?
more.
It's just a desert planet.
Arrakis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first two films. Well, those first two films are the first book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
And then
apparently, there's some good books after.
God Emperor apparently
God
is
Emperor.
hailed as like the best of the series by Frank.
But that's not until like the third book or something, right?
I don't actually know that much
There's
about
quite a lot
Dune.
of spoilers if you really want to go into it in terms about how the arc will go and stuff. But I mean, I
Right.
don't really care to spoil it. In terms
we
of,
won't though, just for
like
Yeah, we
it's
won't
not
spoil it,
necessarily what I don't know what they're going to cover in the
I
films.
wouldn't
There's
say it's
stuff
no-
they're not going
yeah.
to cover in the films, but like it's happening.
It's
in the
just
books.
that there's so many amazing sequences.
the
Yeah.
fourth. God
And,
Emperor's
like-
the fourth book apparently.
Oh, really?
You got
Yeah.
Messiah, which is the next book, and then Children of Dune,
Yeah.
and then God Emperor, which is where it.
So I'll just
Goes
show you a
nuts.
clip
Fuck
there.
me, the
He built that
graphics look
base.
insane.
So he's-
this is in Unreal 5.
This is,
isn't it?
Yeah.
but he just built his own base. Now he's using a little cruiser to whiz around. I fucking
Okay.
loved it. So yeah, I haven't stopped raving about it since I've seen it. I thought it
Dune's
was really good.
great.
So yeah,
This looks interesting.
the game looks interesting. Yeah,
The game looks.
if it's I don't know when it's supposed to come out.
I just
very-
can't believe that he's going to do all of that though. It looks like it's promising a lot. It looks a bit like Star
Yeah.
Wars, the Star Wars RPG that came out recently.
Yeah, it does have that. It's the Force
Oh
Awakening.
yeah.
Is it
Not Force
no.
Awakens, the
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Fallen Order. That's it. Looks a bit like that mixed with
Base building
base building from
in the desert.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tell you
that's
what, it
cool.
already makes
want orthocopters.
Starfield look old as shit.
What do you mean?
Starfield, man, you really
That was
want to.
cutting edge.
I really,
really wanna kick
fucking
into-
care.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I'm so fucked
You
up.
played it for a while.
Bethesda, fuck me, man. How hard is it? Very fucking hard, apparently.
The original Dune got 90%. So
Yeah, the original.
second one's
I
definitely-
watched Dune years and years ago, and that's where my interest from the whole world came from. I never actually read the books though. Sorry. I just
Oh
really
my
liked
God.
Patrick Stewart as the guy that's now played by
the original. So wait, you've
wrestler.
seen the original one, right?
yeah, the original.
I've not seen the original. I've seen clips, which kind of. Well, I mean,
It's got
fucking
Sting
hell.
in it.
It's really
It's like there was a
wacky.
point where they're on top of like a worm, and like then the green screen's so shit, and then
Yeah.
like this
That's the
wailing guitar sound,
Yeah.
and then like Sting's on there, and it's just like this is
Yeah,
so
it's
stupid.
pretty
It's,
dated.
It's funny.
it's the kind of world that needs today's technology to do it. You know,
This is
like,
the thing,
as in,
yeah, I
like,
think
it benefits from today's.
was it David Lynch who
technology.
made that?
It was David Lynch, yes.
So it was outlandish anyway.
It was
in
kind
its
of
style.
panned when it came out.
Yeah.
really.
It's really
But-
weird. It is weird. It fuses.
1984,
it fuses so many different like genres and elements that don't really work together. Also, like, you need with worlds as complex and deep as these, you need like a kind of quite a responsible take on it to communicate it properly. Otherwise, it does become across silly.
So the tomatometer of the original Dune is 37%, but the audience score is 65%. That's pretty.
I think there's a nostalgic love for
cult.
it.
Yeah.
There's an
Probably,
underground following.
Because it would probably be quite fun to watch in a group, wouldn't it? As of like, this is so shit looking, but also like quite funny.
Who was Patrick Stewart in it?
Gurney. So he played the guy that's played by Josh Brolin in the film.
Oh yes, okay.
So that's Josh Brolin.
The master of swords.
Yeah, so he's not a master swordsman. That's Idaho. He is a battle master.
He's a weapons.
He's called the battle master. Yeah. So he does do the weapons training. But what's interesting is Duncan Idaho, he's actually better than a Sardukar. He's like one of these like knights of something or another that's like these absolute masters of the sword, and that's why he's able to kill like 20 of them before they get him, because Sardukar are like the ultra elite, like they're like sending the Vikings to raid England, you know, they're gonna fuck you up. So
this guy was in Sex and the City.
Was he?
Yeah,
The guy that played the original Dune.
what's his name?
the one, you know, the one thing I wish they changed about Dune. The one thing, including
The
that
bloody
film,
weather.
including this one,
Yeah.
they should have changed Paul's name.
I hate Paul's name.
Paul is the worst
Mate, like,
fucking name.
When his name was mentioned in the second
Paul
film, like really, I was like,
Atreides.
oh god, of course.
Yeah.
His name's Paul, and it just comes across as like they've got all these like kind of
really
unique,
cool, evocative names,
unique
right?
names and stuff. And there's
yeah.
probably like an actual reason for it, but like,
Yeah.
think so.
it just sounds so pedestrian. That it's just
Yeah.
like it took me immediately out of it. Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
of course. That and also Timothée Chalamet doesn't physically look like the right kind of person for the role, but. He is a good actor. I think he's still quite good, but
Yeah.
I don't think he doesn't look like a warrior.
He's my Willy
He looks
Wonka.
very puny and tiny little kind of guy next to
Yeah.
all these actual like,
He is. He's quite live.
and he's supposed to be this kind of like actual like really fucking mega hard like cool dude, but like Timothée Chalamet doesn't seem like that.
Okay. Yeah, no fair.
And obviously he doesn't really, and obviously even though all this time has passed and there's various time blocks and stuff, he doesn't look like he ages anywhere. I don't know. Yeah,
They do a very.
Well,
he does a good speech in
he
it,
is
but like
also a
I feel like
god.
he's just sure.
like, I mean, like, essentially,
Visibly, I just feel like he doesn't
I
sell that
completely,
to me.
I kind of agree. I agree, kind of, like,
But I think he's still good at
physicality
acting.
wise.
He's good acting.
But like, I think where they're coming from is they chose an actor who's almost deitic. So like,
Right,
he's more messianic than he is
Like Jesus.
strong.
Jesus wasn't ripped, was he?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on who you get to draw him, but
Yeah, but when he comes across that Fade guy, he just looks. It looks silly almost.
Yeah.
Because you've got this menacing kind of like fucking pitbull like character.
Yeah.
And then you've got Timothée Chalamet.
yeah,
And
True.
it's just like, okay.
They do
But
a
like,
Denny Villeneuve does a really interesting thing with his development, because obviously the time passage happens in Dune 2.
yeah.
This is not a spoiler or anything, but they change the focal depth when they age Paul.
Ah.
So you know when you are further away and you increase the zoom and like the features get flattened, they do that in the latter half of the film when they're focusing on Timothée Chalamet,
I see.
which is I thought it was a cool little detail to think about.
They're really cool. I mean, there's loads of weird. Speaking of interesting framing and things like that, segueing onto my other favorite thing at the moment, Shogun. Which is the FX show about it's based. Is it based on books or based on history about basically the first English people to find a route to Japan? So once upon a time, the Portuguese and the Spanish discovered Japan before the English did, right? And they were using it and they were trading with Japan and making lots of money. And Portuguese and Spain were Catholic, whilst England and a couple of its allies were Protestant. They're kind of in a war. They're kind of competing all the time. So it was of the utmost importance to find out where the Japans were. And so you follow the story of this English bloke turning up in Japan and trying to form some form of alliance or build communications with
All right, geezers.
like Japanese lords. And it's a really amazing show, mainly because you get to see a recreation of like a period of Japanese history that was amazing and interesting, and like the costumes and the customs and the way it's all done is so good. Beyond that, there's a lot of really weird shots. So you know, like when some people create shots where you'll have like really strong like aberrations on the bottom of the
like
of
chromatic
the shot.
aberrations.
Yeah, like chromatic aberrations, bizarre like blurring, like quite a heavy amount of like bokeh or something like that, but like in bizarre, not necessarily like through just depth either, but like the edges of the shot and stuff to create
like a dirty
lens. Yeah, a little bit of tilt shift
shift lens.
Yeah,
where it makes things look like toys almost.
Yeah, and
that also
expands
on the scale of something. So you can make like a big town look like a little toy village just from this.
You saying that's distracting or?
No, I just think it's cool.
Just good
stuff. You thought it was cool.
It's just interesting.
Good cinematography.
Yeah, and like Dune's the same.
No, I think that's it. Yeah,
cool.
That's one thing to appreciate about Dune.
Disney Plus
looks fucking great.
That's probably better than Netflix right now, right?
Possible. I mean,
it will be when X-Men '97 comes out. Am I right?
I guess so. I was never really into the cartoons.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and
what?
Yeah, so the nostalgia isn't really there for me.
Yeah,
and watching it now, I just feel
pretty
well.
Huh?
The creator and project lead of X-Men '97 got fired 2 days ago.
Shit, how come?
Something they don't know, but they think something bad's going to come out. Yeah,
got cancelled.
And they basically immediately terminated their contract. So,
but
I am also for separating the artist from the art.
Also, it's not just him that made it.
Exactly.
They got the original cast, like voice cast back and everything. They're little in it.
Also, and I used to watch the X-Men cartoons. I used to love them. They are so good. The style. Same with the old Batman cartoon as well. Remember that? The really, really stylish Batman one that was out.
Real good era for cartoons.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exciting.
Call me when Biker Mice from Mars gets remade.
Yeah.
Apparently,
which it might have done. I have no idea actually.
One of the assumptions is that he was terminated because he had an OnlyFans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's random.
That's against Disney's policy or some shit. But
right.
It's a very late stage for them to figure that out.
It's weird because it's not something that you would actually. You're not advertising that through the production you're working on.
Yeah.
It would make if he was like using it as a vehicle to push his own OnlyFans or their OnlyFans, then sure. But fuck, that sounds pretty weird.
Oh yeah, Biker Mice, something that Ryan Gosling's trying to helm, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Biker Mice from Mars.
He's trying to get a movie made.
Gosling.
Yeah, I think it's
Gozzers.
not Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, same guy really.
Yeah, Ryan Philippe.
From, what was it?
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions. Yeah.
Boom.
And probably other things as well.
Good film.
The Gentleman. There you go. There's the review for The Gentleman, the TV series on Netflix. I started watching that last night.
Not great.
I just think it's bad acting. There's bad acting in it. It's got a reasonable.
It's got. See,
score.
this is where the audience score may not be trustworthy. All right. Because I said to you that the problems you were describing were like that. It sounds as though it's basically made for someone with a little less discerning. As in like it's the Gentleman film, which you recognise because you probably enjoyed, and then you're like, oh, it's a TV show. But then you started to watch it and you've gone, this doesn't have the same flair, the same style, the same attention to detail. I don't like it. But for a huge amount of people, they're just like, oh yeah, good, more. I wonder what 85% is the common man, 69% is the thinking
probably
man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so basically, my issues.
And let's not make any bones about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my issues with it was I thought
opium for the masses.
How do you say her name? Kaya
Scodelario.
Scoliosis was miscast. I don't think she was very good in that role. She sounds like she's reading, or she just read the script like there and then just read it out rather than as. I just think I just think she's just a bad actress. That's like
Rose's hit list today.
I watched it last night and I just thought. That's thrown it for me. I think the main guy's wooden as shit.
You got some people agreeing with you here about it.
But also just like it lacked any of Guy Ritchie's normal style. And then there was this
Guy Ritchie, is it?
And there's this really kind of like and so if you've seen any of his films, he does use graphics and stuff. And
it's very stylized.
The part where like she was describing like how much money like they were trying to get from this person, and then this text came up on screen, but it was like really half-assed. It looked really like low.
Half-baked.
Actually saying that the first scene, if you load up the first scene, the gentleman is tracking poorly.
Really?
On the building.
Oh,
there's kind of like a little bit of judder on the tracking. I'm like, that's something that I know that if you were doing it, you would be like, I'm fucking fixing that. You would like make that work smoothly.
Like what deadline did
immediately
these
I was just like, whoa, like what? They must have had a decent budget. And obviously, like, those types of little things. I know that's like pretty nitpicky.
I reckon all the budget went to the cast, and then the VFX crew had like a week to turn around to the title.
Yeah, but like, it just seemed like
not good enough.
When you put, maybe it's just late stage Guy Ritchie is just shit Guy Ritchie.
No.
But like his early stuff is really stylized, and like they've actually like made an effort with the cinematography and like. I don't know. You can
Now,
really see a
you're
difference
saying he's lost
looking
the
at his work.
passion.
Yeah.
I actually saw an article talking
It might just be
about
this TV.
this.
I
Not
don't know.
necessarily Guy Ritchie. It was about who was it that did Goodfellas and things like that.
Scorsese.
Scorsese. They're saying about how none of Scorsese's recent films have actually garnered any awards. Like he's always like in contention.
The last one was a Netflix.
Killers of the Flower Moon, I think, was Scorsese.
You see, that was long, but it's really good.
It is a really
good
film.
story.
Yeah, I
Like,
really enjoyed it as well.
Okay.
Killers of,
It's long.
like
3.5
over 3
hours.
hours. Yeah. It's long. Maybe
Yeah.
watch it in 2
But not
halves.
award winning.
But not award winning, no.
It's on Apple TV, but I think in America it's on.
You said it's
something
really
else.
good though.
It is good.
It is really good.
It's a
And
great story.
So he's not really
I think
lost it.
The lead actress was nominated, but
Oh, was she?
I think
Yeah.
Emma Stone won in the end. Yeah, worth watching that because I thought it's a really interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just keeps you kind of gripped in terms of how does this unfold and stuff. Like, it's really well done, and yeah, but it's just a bit long. So probably one of the types of films which you could watch in 2 halves over a couple of nights, over a weekend or something. But
Yeah, it's just it feels like you're in that town, which is really amazing. Like, as in, they built a shitload of sets.
And
You
also
can
it's
tell
based
they built
on
a
a true
shitload of
story.
sets. Yeah, and it's a true story.
that's the other thing that kind of makes it kind of
Yeah,
even more like, what the fuck they were doing that, and like,
Yeah.
so it's a very, very interesting film to have a watch. It's a book. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
non-fiction. Okay.
But yeah, really good film. But yeah, they just say like basically this. Not, I think Guy Ritchie's probably much worse in comparison to what Scorsese's about. But
Someone
they're
just
saying
said
like
that Guy Ritchie didn't direct this.
some aging directors are making things, but they're not necessarily like actually garnering recognition for being particularly.
We're
like,
of
I
an
guess,
interesting day and
interesting.
age where
Apparently, Guy Ritchie didn't direct this. He was an executive producer, which is very different.
What, on the Gentleman TV
Yeah.
show? Mm.
So that kind of explains a lot.
Just sold them the
okay.
name, and they just cashed the name out there, basically.
Basically, yeah.
What were you going to say, Trott?
we're of an interesting age where you can't just make movies that are direct to physical product anymore because that doesn't exist. The service is now straight to like a streaming platform, and it almost gets served as like a premium product.
Yeah.
When actually a lot of these people would get like just put on shelves and ignored essentially. So they're like discography or whatever it's called, filmography, wouldn't be tarnished by their recent works. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, totally. I think you're very right, and I also think that like it must be incredibly stressful for people to have to compete on that stage. You know, like that.
And the only way to
it
get
almost
like
makes you wonder, like what's. Like what it seems like nowadays, the only stuff getting made that isn't like the mainstream kind of ideas is stuff from like personalities. So like Donald Glover is a really good example of this. Like he's managed to get loads of stuff made through the years now, from becoming famous through, I don't know whether you say it's being in Community or through his music. Then he's managed to get projects made, and now it's sort of like, oh, this is a Donald Glover thing, you know, like
his name's behind it.
Yeah, so like,
Well, there wasn't he in like some. Was it Mr. and Mrs. Smith or something?
he is, yeah. It's quite.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's alright. It's pretty good. I've been watching
I
it.
guess you could say the same about Jordan Peele with A24.
Yeah. I mean, A24 is like obviously a bigger thing with it being like a full production house, but
Jordan Peele's like a big part of it.
It's basically a lot of ways like being a YouTuber, isn't it? Like you're just competing on Netflix with a bigger budget and a more refined set of
I think
parameters.
it's all out there equally at the same time.
Yeah. Must
Like
be
they all
tough.
get the same amount of limelight, especially if you've got your name attached to it. Netflix or the streaming platform's going to want to put you at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you watch the new True Detective at all?
Yes, I did. Watched it to completion.
What did you think of it?
Didn't think it was very good.
No, it didn't.
I didn't
the
think it was
story
very
it fell flat,
Yeah.
and like it just didn't feel like the original. But like something I learned recently was that you know how it says Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, even though they probably did nothing towards that specific series, but they put their name at the front because they were in the first series. So that's why they're an exec producer, because they basically sold it. So because they created a good product, and their name at the front is worth more.
So
it stays on there, and they still get a kickback and money from each
royalties
series,
and shit.
series, which I think applies to like any kind of production, really.
I think
thought it was quite interesting when you see it says exec producer. Like, oh, what cool shit did they do in this? Probably fuck all, but they made the first series, which made you want to watch.
Yeah, they're like the founders of the idea.
Yeah, and they make you think they're involved.
And probably names investments and shit.
But I didn't think it was very good. It was only like 6 episodes, was it? Or
I can't remember. I mean, there was a couple of good things about it. It was interesting that they shot it in an interesting environment.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But that was what made it annoying, because it felt like they could have done more.
Yeah. And also, I think a couple of the actors were good. But
I thought the reveal was weak.
the reveal was very weak.
You haven't, seen it.
The reveal was very weak. It just wasn't.
I just felt like they came up with that last minute. Like, why don't we get this? Well, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
so. But it
what
just
I
felt
would love
very
to see-
ham-fisted.
I came away from that thinking the two lead characters,
Jodie Foster,
Jodie and her police friend who she broke, had a falling out with.
Mm-hmm.
Though I would have loved to have just seen their story. Rather than like, basically they did this thing, if you haven't seen it, where they're like always flashing back to like the relationship they used to have, and they're like, there was this thing we did, there was this job we did, and then after that we fell out and never spoke. And like, for me, I was always just like, their relationship's actually really interesting and I just want to see more of that.
Stop
like,
flashing back, just do the just set it in that time
exactly
period.
But
okay,
it fell flat.
Well, this has been a full-on TV and film review episode.
Sure, but
we can wrap it up with the Iron Lung guy dying.
So
like the other day we did a not ones with Yogscast with Sarah,
which is eating progressively hotter chicken wings.
Yeah.
And the curse. She actually asked me earlier on who else has fell victim to the Hat Films curse. Of which the Hat Films curse is if we mention a famous person or celebrity or whatever,
They're likely to die.
and then within the next few weeks they die in the news. It's just like, oh shit, we mentioned them really recently. We mentioned the man in the iron lung, didn't we?
Yeah, specifically Sarah brought it up.
Literally about 2 weeks ago, we're doing this. It's a Yogscast members thing, if you're wondering why you haven't seen it. So you need to be a Yogscast members to see it. But yeah, and in it she was like, well, how did she come? How did she bring him up? Why did she bring him up?
I can't remember now.
She was just like, you seen the guy that lives in an iron lung? And we were like, well, yeah, he has to live in an iron lung.
I think it was anecdotal.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the iron lung.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And I was like, hold on, what are we laughing about here? Because we can't laugh about the fact that he's trapped in an iron lung.
Of course not,
And now he's dead.
Well, he died like a day ago.
Yeah.
So rest in peace.
Poor bugger.
He was, he's a polio survivor who,
the last iron lung survivor.
Which looks like just hell to be in, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how he
to live your life
kept up positive spirits, but fair play to him.
Yeah. Apparently he died because a rat got inside the chamber.
Is this a joke?
Don't tell me. No, I've got an article here. It might tell me actually whether that's true. I don't think...
This is a BBC article. He's lying.
A rat got in the chamber.
Got on the little net fit, mate. No. There's a fucking rat in here.
Bloody rat got in my iron lung.
But yeah, I mean, he lived a long life, hopefully a happy one.
He got polio in 1952 when he was 6.
Yeah, such a...
So he only really knows life in an iron lung, or knew.
I don't think I've ever looked into what polio does to you.
Fucks your body up.
Made him paralyzed.
Makes you unable to breathe for yourself.
Wasn't there? There is a vaccine for polio, wasn't there? Did we?
Yes, everyone gets. You get it as a baby.
Yeah.
Polio, diphtheria as well.
Well, obviously, unless your parents are anti-vax.
Well, yeah. In which case,
there could be a resurgence.
Well, that's why they're bringing up measles again, isn't it?
They're bringing it out.
They're bringing it back. Revival. Measles 2.
Measles 2 in space.
Yeah, Adidas couldn't work with Yeezy anymore, so like, should we bring measles back? Yeah. No, I think the problem, and also the other problem with people not getting vaccinated, is not just a risk you have of getting polio or diphtheria yourself, is that you can't vaccinate babies before a certain point, so they rely on the herd immunity to keep them safe until they are able to be vaccinated.
Right.
So in not choosing to vaccinate, you're also
exposing.
risking very young, babies that have even less of a developed immune system. So yeah, it's obviously I don't think there's very, very few people listening to this that probably are considering avoiding a polio vaccination, but if you are, there is a very good reason to get one.
I think just load up the page of the man in the iron lung. Yeah, and that's enough to make me go. Actually, I will try that vaccine.
There's only one guy though. What's the chances?
Well, I don't know, but he was 6 years old when he got it and lived a long life. 1952, man. Fuck.
So you can have polio and survive. I'll not take the vaccine, thanks.
And then live with the iron lung until you're 78.
Well, I wonder if he could game with his hands.
He can come out for periods of time.
Oh.
Yeah, he wasn't always in there.
Oh, is that him there?
That's him without it.
Holy shit.
It's just when he's in there, he's obviously all bloated because like the lung is doing the breathing
for him.
Yeah.
It's probably more relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a nice lie down, isn't it?
Like a slug out of a shell. Jesus.
Like a snail out of a shell.
Snail out of a shell.
Who wrote that?
No one wrote that.
You came up with that. That's terrible.
Awful. I'm a terrible
Also, I mean, if you said snail out of a shell, that would have been funny.
It wasn't our fault, is all I'm saying.
Slugs are always out of shells, man.
Yeah,
we're
slugs are.
We're the slugs of the iron lung world. We're the slugs.
We came out of our shell a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially if your mum was called Michelle.
Yeah, I
That
came
works.
out of
That
Michelle.
works. Yeah, came out of
I
Michelle.
mean, if you've got a
Sakes.
mother called Michelle, you should never stop using that joke.
Use that joke all
I
the time.
came out of
Constantly.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's sad news to end on.
Very sad. But he had a
news.
a long life.
And then became TikTok famous.
It was famous.
That's how I found out about him.
So you got to make the most of your bad situation.
Well,
Get on TikTok.
Yeah. If you find yourself in an iron lung, make most of it. Make TikToks.
Yeah,
That was,
I think so.
Did you do dances?
How did he do them? Did someone film him for him?
People were asking questions and he answered them in his lung, basically. And it was interesting because
it's like
there's only one person in the world that has
one, which is a unique scenario in itself.
Not anymore.
Do you reckon he tried?
Sarah killed him.
No, of course. Yeah.
Do you reckon he tried to hold his breath whilst in the lung?
I think that's quite a bad idea.
I feel like
it's like diving when you like.
I think he was doing everything he could to not hold his breath, which I think is important. We should all be breathing normally.
I hold my breath when I concentrate though, and I think it gives
I
me anxiety.
I do when I do big reps, which is really bad.
Do you ever watch when you're watching a
Awful.
film and they go underwater, you hold your breath?
Yeah, definitely. I get annoyed when they don't show realistic lengths.
He
of
should be
time.
dead now.
Yeah, put a timer up on the screen.
Yeah.
Like a real
So like they're all
in-world
sat still,
timer.
they're exerting themselves.
I think it's Casino Royale when they go down in the lift and then they go underwater.
Yeah.
That's obviously she's
Oh, she dies.
well. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. I mean, it's an old film.
She fucking dies in that.
But there's drowning scenes.
That's an awful scene as well,
Water.
watching her drown.
Yeah.
God, it's
No one
grim.
wants to drown, do they?
Like, great acting, but
Good
fucking
acting.
hell.
Yeah, no. It's the convulsing which really gets me.
I would like to see James Bond on his like training days because like the stuff he's capable of doing, he must be training constantly.
So, like the new remake of Tomb Raider, where she's not quite Lara Croft yet, and she's
Right.
like making mistakes. Is that
He's a
what
bit
you mean?
weak. Is that what they've done?
No, not weak, but like
Just still
a bit
training.
more humanized.
Well, no, because like I want James Bond to be like superhuman ultimately, a bit like Jason Bourne. I think Jason Bourne's a good example of it as well. Like where you'd imagine the sort of almost like ultimate soldier in a way is, as well as like a sort of espionage angle. Like do you think he's like hammering the gym 7 days a week? He's swimming, he's doing everything, holding his breath, getting really good at that, and then like the one day a month he gets to put on a tux and go to the casino. He's like, this is it.
It's interesting because like there's documentaries on everything. Like, there's documentaries on bloody Heathrow, Tesco.
Heathrow would be interesting.
IKEA.
You name it, they've documented it.
But there's no real documentary on British spies. As in,
Weird.
like,
There are.
well, but like
Not recent
following
ones.
the life of a spy.
Yeah, well, fucking.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I also
Apparently-
want to see following the life of militaries, other top secret vehicles and stuff. Like, they had the Blackbird in
Russia's
1968.
biggest,
We only
yeah.
knew about that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of the best
I just want
films
to fly on
about
the wall, follow them around.
the SAS
Yeah.
is something called like 6 Days. Apparently, that's a really accurate depiction of what the SAS is actually like.
All right,
It's like an action film.
6 Days. I've seen a lot of these things, so I'm gonna probably 6 Days. Is it called 6 Days?
Something like 6 Days, yeah. It's an older film.
Oh yeah, not 6 Days. It's just called 2017 film.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. That's got the guy. It's got Jamie Bell in it.
Skarsgård,
Jamie
isn't
Bell.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. That is a good film.
And it's got Daniel
yeah.
Bedingfield doing I Gotta Get Through This.
Oh,
I gotta
that's
get
the main
through
scene.
this.
on the 6 days.
Yeah, for the SAS, yeah.
So that was about when the SAS stormed
Gotta get
the
through it.
Iranian embassy. There's that famous footage in London of them storming the Iranian
That's
embassy.
Billy Elliot, isn't
And
it?
it's there's a guy who played Billy Elliot. He they show how they trained and all the way to
Tap dances.
Apparently that's, according
he
to
dances his way through
Yeah.
the door.
XSCS, that's pretty realistic.
Yeah. They studied it a lot. I think how they actually did it because obviously it happened in real life, so they could recreate it to be quite accurate.
That was my cousin.
I spoke to a guy who knows the guy from SAS. What was it, that TV program?
Who Dares Wins.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. He's good friends with one of the, well, I think it's
Who was it?
something like that.
What Jason?
But he was just saying how
Fox, is it?
like yeah, Fox. He called him Foxy. And
Who
I
was
was like, oh, not
so
the
you
DJ.
know somebody who knows
Not
him?
the DJ. Yeah,
Oh, cool. I read his book.
I think I told you about him. He's very.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he taught me how to blood choke a dog, not physically, but
Blood choke.
He said if because it was
Black
around the
out.
time when there were all those dog attacks, which
Yeah.
I guess is probably now because they are still happening.
Yeah.
If
What?
you live near one of those, I pray for you. It seems like the owners don't give a fuck. But yeah, you apparently have to just like grab the back of. I mean, this isn't advice. Don't do this to your dog. for
Don't do
fuck's
this,
sake.
please.
But you have to like, if a dog attacks you, apparently this is the best way to stop it. Rather than like clambering and trying to fucking choke hold it, because that's pretty much it's probably gonna get hold of your neck and strangle you. If they have a collar on, you can like basically grab it and you have to twist it and then lift them up. but only gently, and then they kind of pass out.
Yeah. I
So
see.
if a vicious dog is attacking you, you can.
But what if they don't have a
Well,
collar on?
Then you're fucked.
Do I want to get my garrote out at that point? I get a shoelace off as quickly as I can.
Just get to high ground.
Fuck!
Get to high ground. Climb a lamppost. Anything you can.
The bigger dogs
pick up
seem really
pick
good
up the children and the smaller dogs. But that actually, saying that that's a really bad idea, isn't it? I think you're not supposed to pick them up because it makes it look like then they try and jump for it more.
So you
they can
can
climb
the
fucking
children on the ground? Doesn't seem like a good option either.
Kick the child into open water.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Gives it something to chase.
Yeah.
While it's doggy padding,
Then
you run away.
You run away the opposite way.
And call for
That's the advice.
help!
Help, the dog's
Someone kicked my baby into the water, and a dog is chasing it.
Somebody's attacking that swimmer.
Whatever you do, film it on your phone.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's what I've learned from most things on the internet. If you're not doing anything to help,
Yeah.
film it on your
Does it?
fucking
Well,
phone.
yeah. If you,
And film it in horizontal, full screen, 4K, 60.
Mhm.
So at least give us something good to watch.
Thank you. And
Everyone knows
don't
the
wobble
first
around.
step of defending yourself from a dog is get your phone out.
Get your phone out.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, it's
Right,
attacking
now
me.
next bit. Right, next bit. What do I do
Go on.
next? I've got the camera going.
All right, it's got my arm. God, that's a lot of blood.
Or I'm on my back and it's on me.
Yeah.
Share. Where's the share button?
Share button. God, I need to go live because I might just die, so fuck.
Have you seen that footage of a Russian frigate defending itself from the Ukrainian sea drones?
No.
And it's literally just Russians have got their phones out and they're just filming all of the guns, machine guns on these ships, just spraying the water, trying to blow up. So they've been using these remote control sea drones, right, that have just bombs in them. So it's basically like a remote control torpedo, but they're like little speedboats, and they take them up and they've been trying to smash into the Black Sea fleet of the Russians. And but yeah, recently one of them went down, and there's just full on just quality phone footage of just a guy just filming 2 or 3 people on either side of him just spraying the water for their life, you know, because if these boats get past them, they're going to probably sink and they could die. So they're fighting for their lives, and it's just guys just like,
I guess
fucking hell.
It's crazy, yeah. But I
when
think
you're in
it's
such a position of like futility, why wouldn't you just give
something? Quite. Yeah, but then
Yeah.
rather
unless
than
you're directly in the line of fire, it's something you. I guess. What else do you do?
Yeah.
But
Just
do you
wait.
film? Would you film?
I'd film.
I don't know if it would be the first thing I'd think to do, but
No.
it depends. If
If I could get
people
past
still-
the fear,
people
If I had a
film-
GoPro like on my head,
People film like concerts and firework displays, so like, why wouldn't you
GoPro.
film like one of
Yeah.
the military weapons, like
yeah.
firing into the ocean? Like,
I think it's quite a unique circumstance being on a boat and being unable to like run away or
Yeah.
do anything.
yeah,
Yeah, you probably would get your phone.
it's
out,
when
wouldn't you?
it's when someone's filming something.
I don't
a loved
believe
one is
you.
in danger
Yeah.
or getting beaten up or something. They're filming it, and it's like you could actually probably help this scenario.
You're
But
fighting for your lives. You're part of a crew that understands how a boat operates. You know that there's probably a job you could be doing to defend the boat. You know, like just preparing
Derek,
to
get
put
the
fires
shot.
out. And you're telling me that in that circumstance, you probably would just get your phone out.
Well, Dave, I
we're
got it.
being attacked, guys. All stations, get your phone out.
Yeah.
If I found you, Trott, I'd shoot you myself and throw you over the side.
I got good shots of it. Though.
Look at this.
Yeah,
That would almost hit us.
Yeah.
it's
Anyway,
strange, but we'll watch the videos.
Thank
I
you.
think the boat
From
did
a
sink
distance.
as well. They did sink it,
oh,
but a lot of people.
how did they get the
survived.
footage?
A lot of people survived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Little boats came.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Hat Chat podcast episode 162. I hope this has
Film
been
review.
enlightening.
Today was mainly
what
film
film and
reviews.
TV shows to
Covered a
watch
lot.
and not watch.
Yeah.
You can always support us, of course, on patreon.com/hatfilms, and you'll get listed at the end in the credits. Wow, what an accolade. But also you get to watch Hatterday Live right now, because that's
Yeah.
up for 30 days. We did a whole day of basically
10 hours, 10
a
and a half.
Saturday game show, live show event with multiple things going on. You can watch that if you become a member on Patreon or Twitch or YouTube. And yeah, if you have any fingals, much like N Panda, which I didn't mention at the start,
Well,
but
now
thank
you've
you,
bloody
N
done it.
Panda. Send it to hat-films.com. We need your fingals. We're gagging for fingals right
And
now.
if you see any funny news,
And funny
any
news.
interesting news, just
Oh, there was rats
send it
eating
to us.
marijuana news. Saw that.
Yeah, someone sent that. Yeah, I didn't.
We're gonna save that for next time.
We'll
we can save
save
it
it.
next
Save
time.
it. It's
Yeah,
a good
okay. All right.
Or contraceptives handed out at Olivia Rodrigo gig.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
one. Oh, that's insane.
That's number 3 in the BBC's
Orgies.
top.
Massive orgies.
That's really intriguing. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, come join the
happening at
best
gigs.
community in the world, discord.gg/hatfilms. It literally is the best in the world, ranked that way by us.
Wow, that's
every
pretty
year.
good, isn't it? Yeah.
Every year it's a winner. So come join that, and you can also link your Twitch, Patreon, or YouTube membership there and gain access to the secret channels where all the special videos are uploaded for you. all the bonus stuff. So thank you very much for supporting us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers.
Yeah, nice one.
Bye for now.
See you in a
Bye
bit.
then.
Bye.